Hey, it's Uncle Joe at Uncle Joe Hikes. We're here at Sawney Mountain Preserve, of course, and today we're just out here getting a little exercise and trying out a couple of new pieces of gear. I've got a new pair of Black Diamond Trailbacks. As you know, I've bent one of my others a couple of times, and it's just going to be getting harder and harder to collapse them down, so I got a new pair. The other thing is I got a new pack. I got a day pack. It's a 11 liter, so it's the Osprey Talon 11. My other one's an Osprey Talon 22, I believe. So this is my first foray into an adjustable pack. I could have gotten last year's, the previous gen of this, that's not adjustable. Not sure what I think yet. So we'll see. I had to adjust it pretty much all the way out for me. You know, what are you gonna do? But we'll see how it does. It's a fairly comfortable pack so far. I don't feel like anything is particularly uncomfortable. It's sitting on the belt line a little bit differently. So it's just gonna take some getting used to, really. It does have a hip belt and 2 pockets. As well as side pockets for the water bottles, of course. What it doesn't have is a mesh on the back. It just has a crisscross set of shock cord. Well, we're about a half a mile in. Pack feels good. It was resting on my belt line and trying to push my pants down a little bit, but got that adjusted. I adjusted the load lifters too and brought the pack closer to my back. Really, it feels like every other Osprey pack that is comfortable. So for those of you who might be new to the channel, I have a penchant for hiking with a standard style pack, like a, I guess you'd call it like a full style pack, because I like having a hip belt and I like being able to load up the pack a little bit so that when I put on my primary backpacking pack and hike, my body's already used to having that hip belt on it. It's already used to having a little bit of a load, so that's why I went with this particular pack, because it does have a hip belt. But I just didn't need the space that I had in my other one. It just really wasn't a day pack, you know. And this one technically probably isn't a day pack, but at 11 liters, you know, it's good enough. On a cold day, it's got plenty of room for, you know, packing heavier jacket or something like that. So I think it'll be great. I'm gonna turn off the main trail here and check out this little pond. They never did come and clear that tree that's down here, but we can at least come over and check it out. Covered in lily pads. Hear a frog. There you are, Jim. Looks like they moved out. Those were relatively tall Keebler elves. Maybe they outgrew it. Well, the new trekking poles are doing well. They feel a little lighter, but then again, they didn't come with rubber tips. I think for the price point, they should have came with rubber tips and the larger optional snow baskets, but they didn't, which is a little disappointing. Black Diamond would like to see that be standard. Other than that, they're great. They do have the flip locks, which I like. You might say I'm big on flip locks. In the South, if it's a thing, we're big on it. If it's an event, we're big into it. So I'm big on the flip locks, and I'm big into hiking. Well, that turn there cuts the trail more or less in half and goes back to the parking lot. We're going to continue on out, get up around the ridge, and then head back. A little seepage there coming out of this hillside here and running down. Made for a little bit of mud, but you can get around it easily enough. We're trying to work our way out to the end of this ridge and then flip over the other side. You forget how long this trail is. It's pretty long, especially on this back side here, the north side. Well, we made it out here to the point as we get on this old logging road bed, it looks like. From here on, we're heading toward the Jeep. So this trail takes you toward the church parking lot. We're going to keep going up the hill toward Old Earl. So that's where we just were. I don't know why they decided to ride around this, but they did. Anyway, back on the main track. Alright, when you first round that bridge, you actually flip back to the north side for a little while. Now we're on the south side, and I think we're going to stay here till we get to the parking lot. So, still got a ways to go. We're probably a little over halfway. Maybe about a 5-mile loop. Well, we've come to our road crossing. This road goes up to the top of the mountain, where I believe there is a private residence up there, and of course some communications towers. Of course, if you own the top of a mountain near a town, you can pretty much pay for your house with the lease money for any kind of communications tower. We got some beautiful little wild daisies here. Anyway, down the rock steps, back into the shade. Nice. Well, the Talon 11 is doing really well. It does loosen up on you as you hike, like any pack does, and certainly a new pack. So you have to tighten it up, button it up here and there, but you have to do that. Even my previous pack that I've hiked with for a long time, I have to do that. Body starts losing water, you start shifting, so things start loosening up. So kind of the way it is. It feels good. It's a good little pack, I think. I think it's going to work out good. Closes up some space for me that I don't need in the other pack. So anyway, it's getting really warm. We got some showers headed this way. Looks like they're about an hour out. I don't know if they're going to hit right here. Looks like they might hit down at my house though. So gotta get moving. This is one of my favorite sections of this trail because there's a lot of pine trees. Growing up in Florida as a young kid, though I lived all over the South, but as a young kid and then later on in high school, spent a lot of time in pine woods. So when I'm around pines, it's kind of like going home. Here's where our other trail comes in, the one that splits this loop in half. You can do a shorter version of this, of course, by grabbing that trail and just heading back. So anyway, onward. So the secret to these adjustable packs, of course, is this adjustment here. You adjust that up and down, and then you just basically can pull this up and down to whatever notch works for you. Overall, this is a good pack. I've accessorized it a little bit. I've got my Camelback. That's actually for a goo bottle, but I use it for my glasses. You know, it's a good little pack. It's got everything you need as far as pockets for water. You know, I wish it had a mesh back, but I think this will work okay. I can always put a stuff sack back here. I got my Zoleo tracker back there now. You know, everything else about the pack is pretty standard. You got a place for your trekking pole hoops down here at the bottom. If you want to collapse those up, you could tighten up your water bottle pockets if you want to. You've got your packs for your waist belt there. You know, you've got everything that you need. on a regular pack. I stuff my cameras down onto the side, but yeah, it's a good little pack. It's got plenty of room on the inside. I can get this open real quick. We'll go over all the contents of this pack eventually, because I would like to do a separate video for that. But yeah, I think overall this is a good pack. It wears and behaves like you would expect from Osprey, and that is that it's comfortable. And you know, people are down on them sometimes because their packs weigh a little more, but if you're just starting out and you want to be able to carry things that, you know, most people probably would say not to carry, like luxury items, you can't go wrong with an Osprey pack, because you can load it up and it's not going to feel bad at all carrying. But anyway, that's my final thoughts as far as the pack itself is concerned. And we'll talk about things that you should put in your pack, or that I at least put in my pack, on another video. There's our road into the parking area. Straight across is parking area for Indian seats. We can work our way down and around to the back of the parking lot here. There's old Earl waiting patiently. Hopefully nobody broke in and got my Ronald McDonald yo-yo. Yeah, the funny thing about that McDonald's yo-yo comment is that when I was 5 years old, I won a yo-yo contest at McDonald's. I think largely because I was the only 5-year-old, and my mom worked there. And I wasn't a particularly good yo-yoer. Anyway, Sawney Mountain Preserve done. We've been here before. This was more about getting some time with the Osprey Talon 11. It's only one hike, but it does feel good. I like having a little bit smaller pack because I just don't need all that room. We'll talk more about things I put in my pack, but probably only loaded out, packing all less than 10 pounds. But you know, it's got room. If I need to carry some extra stuff, I can do that, but I don't have to fluff it out like I did the other pack. But anyway, it's hot. I'm gonna get out of here and find something to eat.